On
Phil,
the schedule.
sorry,
That's right.
you want to ask if anybody has any questions about the cream?
Oh, right. Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about souring a beer, if you could, in short.
It takes a long time. It starts off as kind of a regular beer, and then we add some cultures to it, which may or may not be wild yeasts, and then we let those go to work, and then after several months, then we might add some other agents, souring agents. So these would be bacteria that are known to sour beer, and with geeky names like Pediococcus and Brettanomyces, there's a number of different agents that we use. And we just let it go and be patient. And the beer in the barrel, the bacteria forms what's, maybe unappetizing, but it forms what's called a pellicle, which kind of seals off the bacteria under the beer. It kind of makes it a seal between the air and the beer below. So the bacteria that are anaerobic, that work under little or no oxygen conditions, tend to work better after that occurs. And then we give it more time, that biofilm breaks up, and a year plus down the road, we're ready to bottle it. So it's a long process to do it the traditional way, which is the way we do it.
Thank you, Bill.
Okay, any other questions?
Where's
All right.
Sandy Farm where you got the cherries?
It's in East Haddam, so about 45, 50 minutes from here. Just over the river. It's nice, big, picturesque area.
Bill, did you macerate the cherries, or what did you do to them?
What did Travis do to them? Travis is our cellarman who is tasked with removing the stems and then taking a potato masher-like device and breaking the cherries up just to crack the skin so that expose the flesh inside, and actually created a pathway because the skin is like a seal. It seals the yeast. There's plenty of yeast and bacteria that are on any fruit, really. We did wash the cherries off just to control what went into the creek, and we mashed them up and mixed them in with the beer, let it re-ferment. The initial fermentation occurs on the fruit sugars, so the yeast that was in the base beer attacks or ferments the fruit sugars, and then they're consumed and that yeast dies out. We give it some time before we put it in the barrels and add more bacteria and wild yeast to it. And then we do a similar process except without the fruit and the gueuze, and that aged in the barrels for about 18 months, or at least the main beer. And then after that, there's another barrel that we blended in that was not quite as far along as the base beer. So gueuze, by definition, is a blend of an older and a younger sour beer. So, and in the gueuze, they tend to have a lower carbonation level traditionally. So we kind of followed suit with that. But what was interesting with the gueuze, and this includes the keg version that you're drinking, as well as the bottled version, is that we have, believe it or not, we have beehives and honeybees on the property here. So we took some of the honey from our beehives, and we used it to prime, is the term for the sugar that we add for re-fermentation. So we use some of our estate-grown honey in priming this beer, so the yeast consume that at bottling time, and then created the CO2 that's giving it carbonation now. So that was a little interesting twist that we did that is non-traditional, and also gives us a sense of place, a sense of Two Roads and our own local honey. So that's the gueuze, and I guess I will follow the next beer before I talk about the next beer, I'll answer questions on the gueuze. So enjoy.
Thank you.